In Chapter 10, we looked at a broad overview of some of the types of graphs that we encounter, particularly with categorical variables, and the importance of creating a good graph. Now we're going to be looking more specifically at how we display distributions with graphs, focusing on numerical or quantitative variables. But what's the reason for a good graph? Well, I want you to consider a 10-second description of Jurassic Park. What would you describe in 10 seconds as the general theme of the movie Jurassic Park? Well, there are a few things that you should include. Maybe the plot, the themes, perhaps main characters, the settings. But what would be the most important thing that should absolutely be in your summary? Well, you better say something about dinosaurs, right? The biggest idea, the first take home that you should have when describing the movie Jurassic Park is that it's a movie about dinosaurs. Well, when you're creating a graph from raw data, we want to be able to do the same. What is our 10-second description of what's going on in the data? What's that basic story that you're seeing? We call this basic story the distribution. And by examining a graph, we should be able to see the key features of a distribution. If someone has to go back to the raw data to find some of the basic information, then your graph has not done its job. Another application that this distribution could be useful for is if you were trying to describe a graph that described the distribution of fiber in different cereals. Nutritionists tell us that a healthy diet should include between 20 and 35 grams of fiber daily. And many cereal manufacturers advertise a product as being high fiber. The food label on the side of a box of cereal is mandated by the FDA to provide information that allows the consumer to choose a healthy breakfast cereal. A quick walk down the cereal aisle at a grocery store will show you lots of different cereals. Now, you could go through and look at each individual box and see how much fiber each contains. But how would you make sense of all of those numbers? If you were looking and you saw that Wheaties had 3 grams of dietary fiber, how would you know how that stood against other cereals? Is that good? Is that bad? Or is that average? Well, if you were to make a graphical display of what all of the cereals had, then you can make a quick comparison as to where that particular cereal would fall in the distribution of all cereals.